In this video, I'm going to tell you about 3 decisions that we make every single day that shape our destiny and how you can use those to not only handle and overcome failure, but to change your perspective on failure so that you can keep moving forward, be the best you that you can be, and live the life of your dreams. I found these 3 decisions that we make every single day that shape our destiny in a Tony Robbins video. He talks about these 3 decisions that we make every single day, whether you know it or not. Most of the time, I'd say we're making them subconsciously. But the 3 decisions are: what do you choose to focus on? What does that mean? And what are you going to do about it? So you might be thinking, well, how does that apply to failure? It applies to failure in an amazing way. It can apply to disappointment, to sadness, to anger, to anything. You can apply these to any situation in your life. Decision number 1 that we are making all the time without even knowing it is, what do you choose to focus on? So when you have a failure, it definitely takes time and practice and dedication to be able to experience a failure and be like, okay, well, that's all right. I learned from it. It's going to take a lot of time to do that. So don't get frustrated with yourself. Have your little moment, be upset, and then when you finally have a second to breathe, decide, do I want to focus on the fact that I failed and beat myself up about it? Or do I want to focus on the fact that I did something? I put myself out there. I'm not just sitting on my couch hoping that an opportunity will come up one day or promising myself that I'll do it tomorrow. You got out of bed, you went and put yourself out there on something that you wasn't sure if you were going to be able to accomplish, or maybe you thought for sure you'd be able to, and that's what makes it even more disappointing. But that's okay, because you did it. You put yourself out there. It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so carefully that you might as well have not lived at all, in which case you fail by default. That was a quote from J.K. Rowling, and it's probably one of my most favorite quotes that I've ever heard, because it's so true. If you live any kind of life, you're gonna fail. There's no way around it. It's part of life. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process. I think we all know, in a way, that in order to be successful, you have to fail first. And so deep down, we know that. We know that it's a part of the process, but it still sucks. So, like I said, you really just have to remind yourself why you're doing it, and remind yourself that because you failed, you're one step closer to success. So once you decide what to focus on, decision number 2 is, what does that mean? We decide what a situation means, and it can't affect us until we do that. A situation is neither good or bad until we assign a meaning to it. Something that's absolutely horrible for us and just a huge disappointment for us might not be that for someone else. It might be enjoyable for someone else. I don't know, a situation doesn't mean anything until you give it that meaning. And so that's why you really have to trust that things are happening as it should. It's not that the universe or, source or God is, out to get you, or, sending you these bad things. Our perspective on the situation. So when you're deciding what that means, what a failure means to you, well, it could mean that you tried, and that puts you 5 steps ahead of most people. That means 5 steps closer to success, because if you gotta fail on the road to success anyway, then you just got one out of the way. And a lot of people can take failure as a sign from the universe that it's not meant to be, or the universe is out to get them, that they should just stop and try something else. No, that's not the case, especially if it's your passion. If it's not your passion, then walk away and find your true passion. You might have to go and try a couple different things to find your true passion. But once you find that, Do not walk away because you have failed. Decision number 3 is, what are you going to do about it? With failure, you pretty much have 3 choices. You can try again, you can give up and try something different, or you can just completely quit and not do anything. And if you decide to just stop and not do anything, well then, the road to success is hard. It's really hard. But the road to mediocrity is just as hard, if not harder. It's hard to become rich, but it's really hard to be poor. You have to decide that you deserve it, that you deserve the chance, because if you try again, at least you have a chance. If you give up, you have 0 chance. So, what do you choose to focus on? What are you going to decide that means to you? Are you going to decide that means that you're a failure as a person? Or are you going to decide that you are stronger because of that? Are you going to decide that you're going to take back your power and not let this failure beat you? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to walk away? Are you going to give up? Are you going to go try something else because it might be easier? Or are you going to push through this and become the best you that you can be and live the life that you've always wanted to live? Because you deserve it, and I know you can do it. So don't give up. Remember, failure's part of the process. It's part of life. It's part of success. And we're always going to experience failure, no matter what we're doing. So make it count. Pursue something that you're passionate about. And when you reach a failure, be glad that you reached that milestone. You got it out of the way. You're 1 step closer to success and 5 steps ahead of most people. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it every time I post a new video on Monday. And let me know down in the comments, what was the last failure that you experienced and what did you choose to focus on? How did you handle it? Let me know. And just remember that this failure does not define you. You deserve greatness, so keep pushing forward.